It's the history of a Zen master. He lives in a remote area of the ancient China. He's visited by a rich businessman who wants to learn everything about Zen. The businessman enters into the house of the Zen master and he speaks loud in his thought. Here he sits himself on a chair and he says, "Teach me everything about Zen." The Zen master, like, we would imagine a Zen master, thin, really calm, serene, offers him some tea. The businessman accepts. The Zen master starts pouring the tea into the cup and filling up the cup, and the tea starts overflowing. So the businessman gets, "Hey, look what you're doing, man." And the Zen master stops pouring the tea and says, "Look, this is exactly you. You overflowing of arrogance, of thinking knowing it all, of belief. How am I going to teach you something? How are you going to fill up your cup with fresh water if it's full and overflowing?" Hi, this is Amelie, and I'm excited that for this day 2 of our program Championing Resilience in these times of coronavirus, we are going to look today at emptying the overflow of emotions that we may feel and we must experience. I mean, it's been a brutal crisis from one day to another. It has affected all the areas of our lives without exception. Of course, there's a lot of emotions. And the exercise here, these 2 first days are really dedicated to emotional intelligence. It's a core aspect of resilience. When we know basic techniques to manage our emotions, then we can build up and connect and strengthen our resilience. If the emotions are in the way, it's going to be very difficult. If we're going to connect to just a little bit of our resilience, and we want full power, okay? Nowadays, there's a lot of, in the personal development sphere, there's a lot of, trends of like denying. If you're really strong, you deny your emotions and you're always on fire and always here. There's total disconnections with the vulnerability and the ability to connect, to embrace, and to release emotions that are not of use to us, that block us, but not from a place of denying them, but from a place of honoring their existence, and that they've come from they have a use, they have meaning, and so it's also very empowering that we say, okay, that's me, and that's okay to feel that, that's okay to experience that, and I make the choice to release them. I make the choice to sacrifice them. I made the choice to empty my cup so I can fill my cup with what I choose to fill it with. Okay, so I want to propose you a simple, beautiful exercise, very useful in any situation where you want to reconnect with this inner diamond of yours, with your resilience, with your strength, and you don't want to be in this extreme of denying emotions, because that you're going to burn out. I know, I've done it, no emotions, always on a high, always this, always that, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to see that, I want to see that. The more you push, what's happening? Froth. And today it overflows, no? It's like the pressure cooker, no? Poof! Imagine if you're not releasing the pressure, what's happening? The explosion. No, that's what happens. And the other side, the other extreme, is wallowing in the mud of my negative emotions. It's terrible, the crisis is so horrible, and I'm so scared, and it's terrible. Look at the statistic and look at what people say, etc. Okay, so none of the places are places where we are leaders, where we are empowered, where we are resilient. That's definitely not where we want to be. But let's not deny that in some moments of our lives, or even in it's normal to poof, we can fall in one side, fall in another side. Now what's going to rescue us? Awareness. Okay, I'm here. Hello. Is that the place I want to be? No. Okay, what do I do? So this exercise is a precious exercise when you are in one of these areas and you want to be in your resilience. Yesterday, so it's one question, one exercise per day. I'm going to start explaining the exercise because actually the question is going to initiate the exercise, okay? So I want you to have clarity on the exercise before getting into the question. The objective is emptying our cup. So we're going to use for that these coaching exercises you may have gone through or you may have read about. There's one called the heart talk. And this heart talk is what needs to be said from the heart, no? So how do you empty a cup, depending on the context of what it is? And I've used that in team buildings, for example, when we're working with groups of people who needs to empty the cup as a team so they can build something new, okay? Here we're going to empty our cup of all these unwanted and unneeded emotions right now. We are going to work this exercise so on our own if we choose to, and if that's our situation today, we can do it as a team. Get your team members on Skype, on Zoom, how you want, and we can work it with our family. So here, we use the technique of the heart talk. So I used to do this exercise and bring a big heart and we would hold it. So in those times of coronavirus, of course, there's none of that, but we can have one behind our screen, a big heart or something that's warm to us while we talk. And if not, in other contexts also, what we can use in it seems it was a tradition of, or it's still, but a tradition from the Native Americans of the talking stick. No, they would create, to discuss important matter, they would create this sacred space, very respectful space, where they had a talking stick. And what I read about that is that the one who holds the talking stick is the only one entitled to speak. When he's done, when he has shared his message, then it passes it on to the neighbor, who the same will be the only one allowed to talk when he holds the talking stick. So even if we don't have these objects right now, I want we keep this spirit of we create a sacred space where I'm going to empty my cup. So it's not a dialogue, it's not a coaching, it's not a mentoring, it's not a friend thing where I'm going to hug you, no. We're going to hold the space. Well, anyway, hug we cannot, but I mean, there's no interruption. There's no, oh please, no, don't feel bad, don't cry. No, yes. We want to create the space for the person to scream, to cry, to keep silent, to whatever is alive right now, to release all that, okay? So what I want we keep from the heart talk or the talking stick tradition is this commitment of holding the space, and even for oneself when we do it on our own. Because do you hold the space for yourself when you have something to express, or are you always in a hurry or stop that, it's okay, that's me, okay? So when I'm saying hold the space for yourself, it's create the same sacredness you would create for someone else, okay? Where you're going to talk. So because we don't have an object or something and we separate, if we're doing that in a group, we just put the hand up to say we're done. We have finished of saying what needs to be said from the heart. And the person who facilitates will ask the next person to speak, okay? And we do like that. Person can keep silence also. I've seen some people choosing silence. I've seen that people who choose silence at the beginning, it's people many times very spiritual, used to a lot of inner work, introspection. So they feel comfortable and very powerful also with this inner work. And then because the exercise is really emptying out, getting it out, so they start silence and they feel the energies here of support, of sacredness. So it flows out, and it's good. So what's important to create the sacredness? One is there's no judgment, bad or good. I mean, it's not, oh no, but that's okay, you did all what you can. No, 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 no. We don't react to, we just hold energetically the space for the person to empty their cup. Okay, so there's no judgment, no interaction, nothing. Okay. The second thing is confidentiality. So if you're doing that in a group, for me, confidentiality has two levels. First, of course, what happens in this group at this moment stays in the moment, period. And then the second level is the copyright. The emotional copyright belongs to me. It means what I say, what I experience, what I reflect that day. No one the day after, even my best friend or even can come to me and say, oh, you remember when we did the exercise, that's how you felt, and everything. No, because that breaks the sacredness. Sacredness makes that what is happening in this moment, it belongs to me and to the moment. So even myself, if I'm doing it on my own, I'm not going to, in 1 week when I'm pissed off with me or upset with me and I'm saying nasty things to me, which I don't recommend, but I mean, it happens sometime. And you don't say, oh, and look at you, crying. And no, nothing of that. Okay? We emptying the cup. It's not a place where we're judging, where we analyzing, nothing. It's just emptying it. Okay? The other important rule, of course, it's about us. Is what I need to release in terms of my emotions. So I don't judge anyone, I don't mention anyone else, okay? So for the person who's facilitating, if it's a group, just know that rule. Normally, I mean, it's very clear and it's just, here we go. So just in case someone would start speaking about someone else or, actually, when we speak about others, when we release the responsibility of our emotions on others, that's not good because it disempowers us and it breaks the cycle where we can shift and choose what we want to feel. Okay, so if the person who's facilitating in the group, where facilitation, as you see, is the minimum, it's just passing the hand when one has put the hand up, reminding the rules at the beginning. So this person, if you see someone is starting to mention people because he or she or this, softly say, please stop here and reconnect with yourself. Start your sentence by I. Okay? If you doing it in a group and you want more little insights with your team on how to do it, don't hesitate to send me a message and connect with me. So this exercise, okay? Now, I think we're ready I'm ready to share the question with you. How are you going to start the exercise? So just be comfortably seated. I always like to start this kind of exercises with a breathing exercise. Okay, so simple one that we can do even with people who, if you have your own breathing exercise that calms your mind and helps you to reconnect with your inner self, you do it. If you're not used to breathing exercise, I can propose this little one. You can put your hand on your belly. You're going to inhale through the nose, and when you inhale through the nose, your belly gets inflated like a balloon, and then you exhale also through the nose, and then you empty the air from your belly, like all the air goes out of the balloon. Okay, so you take 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 inhalation, exhalations. So the mind is calm, you're connected, and you're ready to start. Okay? The question is, when you think about this coronavirus crisis, when you think about the impact it has on your health, or it can have on your health, on your finances, on your economy, on your lifestyle, on the world, on your community, whatever is important for you. What comes up in terms of emotion, which angers, which anxieties, which stress, which tears, which pains. Come, say it all. What's coming up? What's scary? Don't be ashamed. Don't keep anything inside. We want to clean, to empty this cup so you can feel it. What is the right feeling for you? The feeling that's going to help you to step into your resilience, to champion your own resilience, and to reveal your inner diamond and use it for your purpose. I'm looking forward to read your comments. I've not read the comments on the wall yet of day one. I'm going to do it right now after posting these videos. I'm looking forward. I've received some messages. I know that yesterday some people got really emotional. Just this exercise of acknowledging oneself and celebrating the resilient we are already has been really touching, and I'm happy about that. These two first sessions were very much about emotional intelligence. So yes, please, for this exercise, box of tissues nearby you, okay? And in these times of coronavirus, you remember the tissues is that you can throw them, and you actually immediately throw them into the dustbin after, and wash your hands. But let it be. Intelligence, emotional intelligence starts by reconnecting with those and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. The strongest persons are the ones who are able to connect with their vulnerabilities. The persons who have more influence in the world, and look at in your life, I can see the people who really inspire me, the people who are my mentors, the people who I admire, and yeah, they are the ones who, yes, of course, they are stepping in the highest part of themselves. And for that, it's because they are able also to connect with their vulnerabilities and to show these vulnerabilities. Because then when you see the strength and the vulnerability, it's a beautiful couple. And then you can identify yourself, and you just want to be led by these people because you know they're true. So be truthful to yourself, because that's what we're working on these days, your resilience. Because it's when you really shine, when we'll have revealed this inner diamond, and when you have stepped into your resilience, that you can serve the world. So send me your comments, your feedback. Don't hesitate to connect. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com, Amélie Speaks. Amélie like the movie, it's spelled, but I can write it here. And yeah, so that you can know each time there's a video in case you miss it. It's also on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm still having some little technical issues. But yeah, so looking forward to hearing from your experience, and definitely I see you tomorrow for day 3 of our program, Championing Resilience.